Step 3 in your Brain Trust reading lesson plans will be the introduction of new material. Now, during this portion of the lesson, we are going to explicitly and directly introduce either a new phoneme, which is a letter or combination of letters that make a specific sound, such as short A saying ah, or the digraph sh saying sh. You might introduce a morpheme, which is a combination of letters or a single letter that has a specific meaning in the word, such as the plural s that we add on to the end of the word, or that past tense suffix ed. You might also introduce a strategy for dividing words into syllables and how to both identify and spell those syllables. An example of this would be the fact that when we hear ul at the end of a word, such as in the word sparkle, that ul is a syllable unto itself and we spell it with le. Every single one of the lesson plans will explicitly show the I do, we do, and you do portions of this lesson. In the I do section, you want to model how to read and write words that have the target spelling pattern. In the we do section, you'll work with your students to collaboratively read and write words that feature this target spelling pattern. And then in the you do section of the lesson, the students will be given the opportunity to practice applying these skills independently. When we introduce a new spelling pattern, we have to model how to blend the sounds in a word in order to be able to read that word. So to do this, it's important to show kids how we match a letter to the sound in order to then blend. So k, t, cut. Now, some kids might have a harder time with this as they're first learning to blend the sounds in words, because of the fact that this letter C has a stop sound. It says k, so it's harder to blend that sound. I have to go k, t, cut to read it. Letters such as M and R and S are more continuant sounds, so they're easier to blend. And to read these words, we can go man, and then work on speeding up the production of those sounds so that it sounds more like the word that we're trying to identify, man. In addition, sometimes we're going to introduce new phonemes that are 2 letters or 3 letters that make a single sound. In this case, it can be helpful to underline that sound within the word and model the fact that we need to produce that as a single sound. We don't want to read it as because that's not what we're learning to do, right? We want kids to understand that that SH produces a single sound, shut, in order to promote that blending. When we model how to spell words for kids, what we want them to understand is that we're consistently trying to connect sounds to letters. We're using the sounds to help us make spelling choices. That way we can help kids understand they can always use their mouth to tell their hand what to write. And a really great strategy for doing that is say it, tap it, map it. So to begin, we would say the word we want to write. I want to write the word cut. Then I would tap it. K-a-t, k-a-t. I've got 3 sounds in that word. So I'm going to make 3 lines on my paper, on the whiteboard, anywhere, in order to represent the 3 sounds I hear. Next, I need to map those sounds to the correct letters. K-a-t, k-a-t. Cut. I can blend it together to check my work, and then I know that I've spelled the word correctly. This is what we want students to understand. In every single one of these lessons, they should use their mouth to say the sounds, use their fingers to tap it out if they're not sure of how to spell it, to figure out how many sounds they need to represent, and then they map those sounds to a letter.